Hey Miraculous, welcome back to my channel. So we finally got our introduction to Zoe, aka Vesperia. At first when I heard of her, I wasn't sure if I was going to like her character, but now after seeing her in action, she's literally the sweetest, most pure girl I have ever heard of. But I've been looking around on the internet and I've seen several really interesting Miraculous ladybug theories that I would like to share with you today. But before we get started, please note that none of these theories are mine at all. I just wanted to get them out there. I have not came up with them in any way. I just wanted to share them with the world. Full credit goes to Emilie Agreste for coming up with these awesome, insane, miraculous ladybug theories. So the first theory of theirs that I saw that I would like to share is called "The bird is on its way to eat the cat." So basically on Zoe's sneakers, there's a bird who is on its way to eat the cat. And I'm just gonna say it, in so many ways, Zoe reminds me of Emilie Agreste, from just their expressions, to the way they look, to the way they act. I really can't believe it. Honestly, she looks more like Adrien than she does like Chloe or even her mother, Audrey. And we know that Adrien supposedly acts and looks like his mother, so that means that Zoe also looks and acts like Emilie, right? So anyway, the theory says here, it's been a long time since Emilie has been mentioned in the series, so why is she brought up during the episode when we get introduced to Zoe? I mean, why now? Why was Emilie, who was apparently an actress, shown right after Zoe said the following? She said she wanted to be an actress and that she's very good at it, but she realizes that she was creating and playing parts and roles in order to please others until it became unbearable for her, until she now just wants to be herself. So now comes the good part of the theory. Is Zoe a reflection of Emilie? Could she be here so that we learn more about Emilie in the sneaky and more coded way? Could she be there to drop some hints for us to understand Emilie's characters to some extent, knowing that as of right now we can't learn much about her, yet we really want to? Could Zoe be foreshadowing things related to Emilie for us? More than just literally being her daughter. Thus, this would explain why she looks so much like Adrien and Emilie. It's because the writer's goal was to put us back on track. She does look like them to some extent for a specific yet sneaky reason, and it's up to us to dig a little farther into these clues. Did Emilie, just like Chloe, create roles she'd play to please people, or more so, to trick people? Did she deep down have enough and wanted to act like the real her? But who was the real her? What's Emilie truly like? While Zoe put on an act of being evil, but deep down is nice, could Emilie have put on an act of being nice, but deep down is evil? So Emilie was supposedly the peacock miraculous holder of a bird, and Adrien has the black cat miraculous, which is a cat. The bird is on its way to eat the cat. Whether it's up to hiding him from everyone, caging him up just like he used to be, and taking away the little freedom he's gotten so far, or him literally disappearing. Is it a good thing for Adrien if Emilie were to come back, or would she end up swallowing him? Just like the bird is on its way to eat the cat. So this was the first theory, and to me it made a lot of crazy sense if you think about it. Because we really don't know anything about Emilie, but what we do here is always good. But the fact that Zoe appears to be a lot like Emilie suggests that maybe she's hiding her true self. Adrien also kind of does that in a way where he's really a lot more funny and more like Cat Noir inside, but he hides it beneath. So maybe the same could be said for Emilie, and she's not actually as good as everyone thinks. Now I'm gonna skip to another really interesting theory. So here we have Zoe in the episode Queen Banana, and doesn't her makeup and outfit oddly remind you of a peacock? As it was said earlier that Zoe might be a reflection of Emilie, maybe mostly as reverse parallels or just literally parallels. And so it basically goes on and goes a little bit more about the Zoe-Emilie reflection parallels, but I wanted to take a look down at this last picture here, and is it just me, or do Zoe and Emilie look almost identical? But moving on, we know each Miraculous has two forms, one when it's in camouflage mode and one when it's transformed. Zoe's makeup looks more like the camouflage version of the Peacock Miraculous, so supposedly when Emilie wasn't using it, could this mean that Zoe is reflecting Emilie when she wasn't transformed, or when she didn't even have a Miraculous to begin with? Let's just say that when Emilie used the Peacock Miraculous, it was for selfish, evil reasons, but that as soon as she detransformed, she was just like Desi was when the Miraculous was broken. Her personality would completely switch. She would go from a bossy, assertive, evilish-like woman who'd use her powers in immoral ways with the Miraculous on, to a loving wife and mom, a kind and understanding person, appearing to be angel-like and had strong morals with the Miraculous off. So overall, maybe this is the real reason that Zoe is here in the show, to reflect how Emilie was as a person in her daily life before things got messy and complicated. This way, we get to understand what kind of person Emilie was through parallels, and to see more of what her character was like, and to some extent, what kind of role she'll end up playing in the series. And so what they're saying is maybe Emilie's character is there to demonstrate the lesson of nothing is all black and white and nothing is all bad and good. Honestly, I think that this theory makes so much sense that it's almost creepy. That I would be so excited if, some of this stuff did actually happen, or is actually referenced and hinted at because, it's gonna happen in the future. This theory was so crazy and insane that I couldn't help but wanting to share it with you guys. What do you think? Is Emilie as good as she was pictured to be, or does she have a bad streak in her? I'd love to find out in Miraculous, Tales of the Ladybug, and Cat Noir. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And please remember, I deserve none of the credit. All of these theories were from Emilie Agreste on Instagram, so make sure to check them out and see more of their amazing theories.